Your health outcomes are determined by things such as where you live, the food that you eat, and the air that you breathe. And a lot of the time, these have differential outcomes depending on the quality of those things. And we see patients in hospitals so often, and a lot of the time, you could trace back their condition back to those three things and the other social determinants of healthcare. However, as medical professionals, we usually don't do much about it, and I want to take matters into my own hands and do something about it. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Malone Mukwendi. I'm interested in the business of property, the business of healthcare, and the business of changing my life. And I'm going to be telling you about how I am using property as a way to be able to improve people's health outcomes. So I'm training to be a doctor, and when I'm in the hospital, a lot of the time we have to send people back home once they're better. And one of the things that you have to look at sometimes, depending on the patient, is where are they actually going back home to?
Once they've been treated, they can be discharged, but only with the right care in place. In Bournemouth and Poole hospitals, there are 241 people medically ready to be discharged.
There's been so many occasions where I've seen patients almost get delayed discharge simply because their home is not fit for purpose. Whether that be they've got a new condition and there's different things that they have to readapt in their house just for them to be able to go back safely, or simply that their house is just not fit for purpose. It has a lot of mold, it has a lot of clutter. And this is something that I've always thought to myself to say, like, why is this the case that someone comes into hospital with a certain condition, we essentially fix them up, they get better, and we discharge them back into the same environment that made them sick? Of course, we are not superheroes and we cannot fix every single problem under the sun. But for me, I think it was so important to be able to fix that problem of people's environments. Because I think if we can improve where people live, then ultimately we improve people's health outcomes and people coming into hospital. So part of that is building solutions which are fit for purpose. And I think when you're building, you need to build in stages. Of course, the end goal is for us to create communities where we have built a massive complex where you can get good food, there's walkable distances, there's greenery, just to be able to improve people's health outcomes. So in the initial stages, it's about taking homes which are not fit for purpose at the moment. These are wrecked, dilapidated homes which need a lot of work, which need a lot of renovation. To convert the front room and this dining room into a self-contained unit. So this potentially could be a bedroom, and then that could be the front room with the kitchen as well, or the opposite way around. And then if we move into the kitchen, this is the kitchen. So if we're thinking about our options, this is a really small kitchen for a 3-bed house and a family. So what we'd have to do is find some way to create some more space. So that could be potentially through knocking down this wall and then making the dining room there and this kitchen a lot bigger, or potentially extending it out into the rear and creating a kitchen from there. And then it'll be taking homes like this and renovating them to get them to a good standard. So that's things such as adding in a new kitchen, adding in a new bathroom, changing any flooring, improving the floor plan, for instance. If there was any structural issues with the property, being able to fix those just to make sure that we can turn homes which are not currently occupied or not currently able to be lived in, and being able to allow people to live in those homes. Once we've done that, these homes will be fit for purpose. These homes will be fit for people, for instance, who are coming out of hospital to be able to live in. These homes will be able to be sheltered accommodation or supported accommodation for people who have been in the care system, for people who are living with learning disabilities, just to be able to give them a place that they can call home, and a place which is actually nice. At the moment, some of the places that people are calling sheltered accommodation or supported accommodation is simply just 4 walls and a roof. It's not necessarily the nicest of places, and I think that's where we step in. This is something which I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be documenting my journey across YouTube for the next decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, as long as can be. Part of documenting my journey is making sure that as many people come along for this journey as possible. And there's various different ways that I'll be allowing people to come along the journey. One of the ways, like you're watching right now, is by watching the videos and being able to see what we're up to. And one of the ways is by working with investors to be able to give them the opportunity to be able to improve people's healthcare. In another way, you could maybe say that this is the closest that people who haven't studied medicine can actually improve people's health. I don't know if I'm reaching, but that's just my thoughts. So what's my plan of action? So at the moment, I'm on the lookout for different properties which need work doing. These are properties which you cannot live in at the moment, and essentially would go in and complete a refurbishment to be able to allow people to live in there. And then the people that we would be looking for to live in there, depending on situation, will be mainly people who have lived in the care system, people who are currently living in some sort of supported accommodation, people who are under their local council's care and health services who haven't got a home and need to be housed. We'll be creating the accommodation for these people to be able to live into it and essentially improve their health outcomes. So if you want to be part of this journey, comment down below what you want to see, and I'll be documenting this over the coming months and the coming years just to be able to show you how you don't necessarily need to do medicine to be able to improve people's health. And I think the intersectionality that I have of being a medical professional in training and also understanding the world of property, I can combine these two things to be able to create better health outcomes and also better properties. Follow me on my journey and stay tuned for more.